Just a little spirituality video in case anybody's interested, and a little spiritual pep talk around fame, why it is you should never try to get famous. I'm just reflecting on the fact that so many famous people wind up absolutely miserable and alone and chasing fame and unhappy because they're not famous anymore, doing things that I'm sure on some level they all regret. I'm thinking of Will Smith. He has a new song out that I saw on the trending page, and it only has like 100,000 views or something. And I'm like, Will, you slapped a guy at the Oscars. I'm not trying to hate on the guy at all, but I think for many of us, like that was a bridge too far. And as much as I love Will Smith, and he'll never see this, of course. He's a sweet guy, sweet man, obviously. He's had more success than anybody on the planet Earth in an industry that is ruthless and brutal, and it's okay to retire. You're never going to be happier than you are right now. You're never going to be more content than you are right now. If you're fortunate enough to watch this video, you're probably in a pretty good headspace, and you should just be grateful for that. Our state of mind, is it's our most cherished possession. And most of us have no idea that we should even care about it. But how we think, what our intentions are, our aspirations in life, this really is the root of happiness. And for people that seek fame, I don't know, it doesn't tend, there's something called the 8 mundane concerns in Buddhism, and I highly suggest you read about it because it is the root of all of our suffering. We seek fame and we avoid infamy, or people saying bad things about us. Blame. Fame and blame. Fame and blame. And we kind of vacillate between these two our whole lives. We, for whatever reason, think that if I just get super famous, then everybody's going to love me and I'll experience happiness at a level I never dreamed possible. And in reality, most people that achieve that level of fame are miserable. There's a saying in India that goes something like, you can have bars made of steel or bars made of gold, and it's still a prison. Don't get famous. I don't care about social media fame. I really do just make these for myself because it's just a really good way to reinforce what I'm learning on my spiritual path. Hello. And I love studying Buddhism, the Gelugpa tradition. It's the same tradition that the Dalai Lama's in. I also love the Kagyu tradition too. It's Tibetan Buddhism. It's beautiful. There's a website called Study Buddhism that's wonderful. If you want more information on this stuff, go there. On my YouTube channel, I have tons and tons and tons of playlists of different Buddhist nuns that I follow from the Tibetan tradition, and also some Zen stuff too. Although I'm not really a big Zen guy. Not that there's anything wrong with Zen, it's just a whole different practice. The Buddha taught many different styles for many different people. He did it for 80 years, so I guess 40 years. Yeah, 40 years, 45 years or something. After he got enlightenment, the Buddha just taught for the rest of his life. And I think it's just remarkable that people and those cultures decided to celebrate the Buddha and his success and cherish those teachings and hold on to them and pass them down from generation to generation so they could eventually get to us. Because without those folks, man, we would be lost. Modern psychology, which is roughly about, 150, 200 years old, it's not great. And they can learn a lot. In fact, the best psychology practices you can get yourself involved in borrow a lot from Buddhism. Meditation, mindfulness stuff. I mean, it is like just learning that we are not our thoughts, that we are something more than that. That we have a sky-like mind, and that thoughts are just passing through, and there is a way to develop contentment and happiness and compassion and wisdom that doesn't rely on seeing a therapist. Although if you do need a therapist, you should go see. I saw a therapist. I'm not anti-therapy, but at a certain point, you kind of have to take the reins. You have to just sort of learn how to work with your own mind. And in some Tibetan traditions, they call it wind horse, or being able to you harness your mind, or you train your mind like you would a horse or a dog. You become the master of your own mind. It's a whole thing. Tibetan mind training, it's very good stuff. It's the Lojong tradition, or Tonglen, giving and taking, or receiving and taking, something like that. And then you get bodhicitta. It starts with sewa. Sewa is like the heart of, everybody has this innate warm-heartedness to them. And then from there, you develop what's called bodhicitta, which is the aspiration to enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, which is so perfect. And then from there, you just train in that for forever. You have to cultivate genuine, lasting bodhicitta, which is when it goes from like this conceptual understanding to this actual perceptual reality, where you just do it, and you don't question yourself. You just naturally help out whenever you're called upon. You still have to take care of yourself, right? You have to get lots of rest, you have to meditate, you have to sleep, you have to eat good food. You want your body to be in good working condition so that you can be a benefit to everyone else that you meet in your life. And you might think, well, that's kind of a weird masochistic way of living, but it isn't. You obviously center yourself first, you take care of your own needs, and then you're at your very best when you leave your apartment or your house or whatever, and you're ready to meet people and just be present with them. That's the trick. Like, don't have any kind of weird agenda or expectation going into any kind of conversation with anybody. Just like be present. What are they talking about? Let me be patient. Let me react with skill. And then you have to worry about those pesky emotions, those troublesome. For me, it's always anger, impulsivity. Oh my God. In Buddhism, it's anger, attachment, and ignorance. Those are the three big ones. Yeah. If you're depressed, angry, or indifferent, there's an affliction present, and you should go someplace and meditate. That is what I've learned. I've learned that if I have disturbed mind, I need to go sit down, shut my mouth, turn everything off so that I do not, under any circumstances, say something that I inevitably will regret. I am still trying to amend relationships that oh God, my poor family. I just, life with a traumatic brain injury. I mean, it's just, I was 18 months old. I have been this way my whole life. I wouldn't change it though. I love you. Goodbye.